Dealers are overflowing with certain 2025 models that buyers flat out refuse to touch, no matter how big the discounts get. From flashy EVs to forgotten sedans, these are the cars piling up unsold on lots across America. Hello everyone, this is Scott from CarlandTV. It's time to hop in the front seat because today, we're talking about the cars that are damn near abandoned on dealer lots in 2025. Heck, some of these things are stacked 3 deep out back and still won't move no matter how many rebates they throw at them. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now let's get back into it. EVs collecting dust. Alright, let's talk EVs sitting stale on the lot, and we'll start with 2 big names, Chevy Blazer EV and Ford Mustang Mach-E. On paper, these things ought to be flying out the door. GM bragged that the Blazer EV sold 6,187 units in Q1 of 2025, that's a 931% jump over last year, and another 6,549 inches Q2, so about 700 inches the first half of the year. Sounds solid, right? But heck, when you zoom out, that's still peanuts compared to what dealers are holding. As of September 2025, there are 2.83 million new vehicles sitting in U.S. inventory, and a lot of that is EVs that just aren't moving. Now the Mach-E, Ford threw the Mustang badge on it, thinking that'd light a fire under buyers. Problem is, the Model Y still owns the electric crossover game, and Mach-E's are stacking up. I've talked to folks at dealerships who say these things can sit for months while a Bronco Sport or Escape barely hits the lot before it's gone. And you know why? Price. You're looking at mid-$40 into the $60 range for either of these, and buyers see more value in hybrids or gas SUVs they already trust. So yeah, Chevy's patting themselves on the back for sales growth, but that's like bragging you doubled your score in a game you're already losing. These EVs aren't dead, but they're not exactly turning quickly either. And if that's what's happening to the flashy stuff, wait till you see what's going on with plug-in hybrids. Plug-in hybrids, nobody is buying. The numbers don't lie. Plug-in hybrids are supposed to be the middle ground, but in 2025, they're proving to be dealer headaches. Look at the Chrysler Pacifica hybrid. Chrysler pushed 57,756 vans in the first half of 2025, which is an 18.5% drop from last year. That's a pretty steep fall for a minivan that was meant to be their flagship family hauler. The kicker? Pacifica hybrids are sitting on lots with price tags north of $60,000, and even when dealers hack them down to the $50,000 range, they still don't budge. Parents aren't lining up to pay luxury SUV money for a minivan that only gives about 32 miles of electric range before the gas motor kicks in. Now swing over to Toyota's Prius Prime. Toyota as a whole is crushing the hybrid game. Nearly half of their U.S. sales in 2025 are electrified models, but the Prime isn't leading that charge. Toyota only aims to move about 20,000 units of the Prius Prime a year here, and compared to the RAV4 hybrid or Corolla hybrid, it's barely a blip. Buyers see the regular hybrids pulling 40 to 50 miles per gallon without ever plugging in, and suddenly the Prime feels like an answer to a question nobody's asking. Put it all together, and these two sit parked for months while gas hybrids and crossovers fly off the lot. And that's the state of plug-ins in 2025. Caught in the middle, priced too high, and losing ground fast. Sedans that Americans walk past. Man, I remember when sedans like the Altima or Sonata were the go-to family cars. Now in 2025, they're just sitting around collecting dust. I was walking a Nissan lot not long ago, and heck, there were rows of Altimas lined up with nobody even giving them a second look. Nissan's U.S. sales dropped 6.5% in Q2, 2025, down to 221,441 units, and you can feel it on the ground. With the 2026 Altima already teased, dealers are practically begging people to take the 2025 seconds off their hands. The Hyundai Sonata isn't faring much better. On paper, Hyundai moved 167,634 Sonatas globally in 2024. But here in the States, it feels like they're invisible. I've seen dealers chop the price from the sticker $28, 35 kelvins range, down into the low 20 seconds, even high teens in some markets, and folks still walk right past them. People would rather grab a Tucson or Santa Fe SUV, and I don't blame them. It's where the demand island. And the Kia K5? Damn, that one's really hurting. Sales have crashed a whopping 64%, with only about 28,476 units sold so far this year in the U.S., Dealers I've talked to admit they're letting them sit so long that they don't even bother putting every K5 online. That's brutal, because not too long ago, the K5 was supposed to be Kia's sporty answer to the sedan slump. So yeah, the sedan market feels like a ghost town. And if you think that's rough, just wait until you see which crossovers are struggling to move. Crossovers that missed the mark. Crossovers are supposed to be the safe bet, right? But walking lots in 2025, I'm seeing rigs like the Jeep Compass, Jeep Cherokee, Mazda CX-90, and Honda Passport just sitting there, month after month. The Compass is the perfect example. It moved 54,834 units from January through July 2025, which isn't awful, but heck, that's way off pace compared to where it used to be. Back in 2024, it sold 84,048 for the whole year, and now folks are just holding off because everyone knows a redesign's coming. Dealers are begging, throwing cash on the hood, and still, buyers are waiting. The Mazda CX-90? Man, that one stings because it was hyped as Mazda's flagship. But the numbers don't lie. 11,558 sold in the US so far in 2025, compared to 10,678 last year. That's barely any growth. Production's even slowing. Only 6,070. One unit's built in May, down 31% year over year. You can tell the shine's already worn off. Now the Cherokee and Passport. I've walked lots where these things are stacked in rows, and buyers just keep walking towards CRVs and RAV4 seconds instead. The Cherokee's caught in limbo between being too pricey for a compact and too small for a family hauler. While the Passport feels like a half-baked SUV, Honda can't quite move. So yeah, even crossovers aren't bulletproof anymore. If you're not giving folks real value, fuel economy, sharp pricing, or something exciting, they'll leave you parked out back. And that's exactly what's happening to these. Luxury cars dealers can't move. Luxury cars used to be the crown jewel on dealer lots, but in 2025, I'm watching them sit there untouched, and it ain't pretty. The Infiniti Q50, the Acura TLX, and the Genesis G70 are collecting dust while buyers pour cash into SUVs. I saw it myself. Rows of these things parked like showroom ornaments, and the sales reports prove it. Take the Q50. Infiniti's US sales fell 12.7% in Q2 2025, and year-to-date they're down 9%. The Q50 itself? Only 94 units sold in Q2. That's not a typo. That's a freefall from 1,442 a year earlier, a 93.5% collapse. Heck, it's so bad. Infiniti already announced they're killing it after 2024. No one's buying. Plain and simple. Then there's also the Acura TLX. This one hurts because it was supposed to be Acura's sports sedan halo, but in 2024 it barely sold 7,478 units, and the first half of 2025 is uglier. Just 3,634 cars, down 55% from the year before. Acura flat-out admitted production is ending this year, shifting focus to SUVs and EVs. Dealers can't give them away. Oh, let me pick on the Genesis G70. I'll admit, it's a sharp car, but the market doesn't care. Sales dropped from 13,246 inches, 2023 to 12,258 inches, 2024, and they're down another 7% in 2025, with only 5,136 sold through June. Analysts are already predicting it'll vanish by 2027. So after going through this list, it's obvious why so many of these rides are just sitting dead on dealer lots in 2025. Heck, we're talking about 2.83 million new cars in US for inventory right now, and the ones clogging the yards are the flops. Blazer EV, Mach-E, Pacifica Hybrid, Prius Prime, Altima, Sonata, K5, Compass, CX-90, and those showroom ornament luxury sedans like the Q50 and TLX. I've walked those lots myself. You see rows of shiny metal, but nobody's signing papers because the prices are high, the value's weak, or the competition just flat-out beats them. Buyers today want reliability and bang for the buck, and if a car doesn't deliver, it stays parked. Simple as that. So here's the deal. Don't get stuck with one of these duds. And if you want more real car talk backed by the hard numbers, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coming your way.